Chris here, and in this video we're going to look at the experience of selling at the recent Nexus Toy Fair. I've been selling there for the last 3 years, I think, so don't always get an opportunity to get outside of the table and actually buy stuff, but this time I did manage to pick up a few things, so I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I picked up from the recent Nexus Toy Fair. There's quite a few videos on my channel all about Nexus Toy Fair. It's held every 3 months, so obviously this video is all about the one just held in April, and the next one is on Saturday the 18th of July at the Leisure Life Centre. And yeah, there's really something for everybody: video games, comics, action figures, Lego, yeah, Star Wars, Harry Potter, you name it, Marvel, DC, they've got it there. Dungeons & Dragons stuff as well. So yes, pretty much stuff for everybody. It was a good showing on Saturday, and a lot of people coming through, and a lot of awesome conversations at my table. I was sharing a table with my friend Adrian, who was having a lot of success with the Pokemon cards. But yeah, a lot of good conversations at the table. People were very excited about the Masters of the Universe movie, only a month and a bit away now. Very, very excited. So yeah, that was awesome. Just one of the highlights of Nexus is always just the conversations of strangers or friends coming by, and kind of that shared love of the hobby and stuff that we collect. So yes, the next one is in July, but there's also one on the 24th of May, Sunday the 24th of May. It's not Nexus, but that's the Collector's Zone Toy Fair for those who live up north in Joondalup, so you may want to go to that one as well. Anyway, enough of me jabbering. Let's have a look at what I picked up at the Nexus Toy Fair. Who remembers Sky Commander? So Sky Commanders was an animated series. I think it only lasted for 1 season. This is from Kenner from 1987, I want to say. I've still got a couple of my Sky Commanders figures from my childhood, which is awesome because not a lot of my childhood figures survived. So this is Search and Rescue with Commander Rex Kling, and unpunched, sealed, pretty good condition. The card's not yellowed, it's not too beat up, so I will leave that on the card. So I got this from my mate Ryan, the collector kid, who gave me a good deal, so thank you very much for that, Ryan. And we can see on the back there, so I've pretty much got C and D. So I've got the Raider Wrath and General Plague, or Plague, I guess. So yeah, pretty awesome. And the unique thing about Sky Commanders is they kind of had ropes, and they would kind of, you know, annoy your parents because you'd like hook them up in the kitchen table and to chair legs, and they just fly all over the place. So it was definitely a unique action feature to stand out at the time. They're kind of like probably masked Dino Rider size, a bit bigger than that, probably a bit smaller than the G.I. Joe size at the time. So yes, and as you can see, they always came with a lot of ropes and kind of things. But yeah, just the bright colors and the kind of weird sci-fi story about, you know, Earth exploding and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I must watch the cartoon. Actually, I believe most of the episodes are on YouTube, so a rare find. So thank you to Ryan, the collector kid, for this Sky Commanders deal. That's not the only deal that Ryan managed to give me. So yes, apart from the Sky Commanders, also this Kenner Mask boxed Dynamo, almost complete. So he picked these up a few weeks prior to Nexus, so yes, I said I'll grab those. So he was kind enough to give me the heads up. Dynamo I had as a kid, had a few mask vehicles. This is driven by Bruce Sato. Pretty simple transformation, like all Kenner mask figures. It's just one vehicle that becomes two, and then this part folds out and it's got the guns. So it's missing the stickers. It's a very kind of simple transformation. It's kind of like a buggy into a helicopter, and then this is it's fold over the little missiles. And the idea is that the second figure, which is the split seconds, as you can see on the package there, basically the same figure but just done in a translucent blue. So a lot of the later Kenner Mask figures had that. This box doesn't come with that. However, I found this digging through my bin recently, and I think this might actually be my childhood survivor, so very happy to have this. So exactly the same figure, just he has his mask. So to complete this, you just need stickers, and yeah, the mask for Bruce Sato. So the idea is that the split seconds, which is kind of like a clone, or well, not a clone, more like a hard light hologram kind of thing, they would ride the second vehicle. So a lot of the vehicles in this series had the split second, so pretty cool. And it also came in the box this wonderful little kind of poster. Well, it's not that little, probably A3 size, showing the various figures and stuff. And on the other side It's a poster with some very close combat. Look how close all the baddies. So Mask, the good guy, and Venom, the bad guys. And yeah, so Mask is really in the pop culture lexicon at the moment because they're making a comeback in Skybound Entertainment's Energon universe. So Mask have just appeared in the Transformers comics from Image slash Skybound. So yes, it's a good time to be a Mask fan. The box, I think, is it's a bit beat up, and there's no cardboard inserts, but I think it's an international version because it's got a couple of different languages. But just this airbrush art and all that kind of figures that the 80s figures had is just awesome. So yeah, some lovely artwork. So there we go, Sky Commanders and Cannot Mask Dynamo. There's always so many Lego minifigures available at the Nexus Toy Fair. Well, I say a Lego, they're like Lego, but they're kind of knockoffs, but they do the job. I've got a few in my collection, and yes, they just have so many pop culture characters. So I picked up a few for myself and some for my nephew, such as Chucky here and Peacemaker from the TV series. And then I also got him Wolverine and Batman from the Flash movie. And then for myself, I picked up a Gandalf, a pretty cool and detailed actually Cyborg Superman, plastic cape, not bad. And then 3 He-Man figures. So we got Ram Man, one of my favorites, Many-Faces, almost said Man-at-Arms, but no, Many-Faces, and no, he doesn't have different faces. But I have noticed like some of the proper Lego minifigures, they have, you can turn their heads around and they have different faces on the back or whatever, but I can't seem to remove the head. It's pretty tightly stuck in there, so you can kind of see that they're not exactly like Lego, but they're relatively close. And He-Man with his 3 weapons as well, which is nice. So there we go, just a couple of cheap Lego-ish knockoff figures for the collection. Being a seller at Nexus means you don't really get a lot of time to get outside of the table, get away from the table and have a look around. But there's normally almost 200 vendors. There's a whole bunch of people. It's a very popular event every 3 months. So I didn't really pick up a lot of things for myself. The Lego minifigures when I had a few times to pop out every now and then. And I did flick through some of the comics. There were some pretty cool graded comics as well there, but I didn't really pick anything. The temptation is to spend everything that you make, but I certainly didn't want to do that. But I did get this, which is pretty awesome. The seller gave it to me for 30 bucks. He had a nice collection of DC Direct figures from Infinite Crisis from the early 2000s series. I do have my original OMAC, One Man Army Corps. Remember the awesome redesign of the OMAC? I did have my figure from 20 years ago now, but his fin, like on his head, is all broken and his arms are falling off, so he's not in the best condition. I'll probably keep this on card. And yes, we can see on the back we've got Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor, Power Girl, and Mongol. It's interesting that One Man Army Corps OMAC looks a bit different on the back, not as much detail as the actual figure got, but yeah, pretty cool. And interchangeable hands and a little stand as well. So yeah, I love these figures. DC Direct did some absolutely awesome stuff, so happy to add him to my collection for $30. And the next thing I got was also from DC. I got this wonderful Harley Quinn poster for free. That's one of the wonderful things about being a vendor there. You can kind of do deals with each other, I guess, before the crowds come in, and also while you're packing up. And I was packing up and I noticed one of the vendors had this, and he also had a Spider-Man Homecoming poster, which he was trying to give away for like $5. He didn't want to take it home, and he saw me looking. So I did take the both. He gave them to me for free, which is lovely. I gave the Spider-Man Homecoming poster to my friend Ryan the Collector Kid. Definitely give his channel a follow on YouTube. But yes, this was pretty awesome. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but yeah, obviously it's the cover to Harley Quinn #1, her first series from 2000, by Terry and Rachel Dodson. Absolutely awesome in a classic costume. So, and as you can see, it's pretty big as well. So very happy to add that to my collection. Wonderful piece of DC art for free. That's awesome. Not a massive haul, obviously, but nonetheless pretty awesome. So something old, something relatively new, and yes, ticks a few boxes with some carded action figures and some nostalgic figures as well, so that's pretty awesome. So I had a pretty successful day, managed to sell quite a few of my things, and as I said, just have lovely conversations with people stopping by the table and saying hi, people that I knew, and also just strangers, just talking about the Masters of the Universe movie and a whole bunch of other cool things. So that's one of the wonderful things about this community, about this hobby. It's just you're making all these connections, and it's very encouraging and welcoming. So thank you for watching all the way to the end, and hopefully I'll catch you at the next Nexus in July. Goodbye, geeks.